4 days, the alien fleet stayed at a safe distance from Eden's Wrath. No one dared to go closer again. The massive human ship floated in silence, its lights burning like watchful eyes in the void. Captain Zarek hadn't slept. He kept replaying the AI's final words in his mind. When humanity returns, we will remember who came in peace, and who didn't. Those words felt like a warning, and a promise. His officers begged him to leave. Captain, we should go home. This place is cursed. That ship, it's not just a weapon. It's a guardian. But Zarek couldn't. Something about the phrase preservation pods remain on lunar base Sigma haunted him. He needed to know the truth. Were humans really gone, or just waiting to wake up? Far away, near the ruins of Earth's old moon, lunar base Sigma began to hum. A chain of machines deep beneath the surface activated for the first time in 500,000 years. Dust lifted into the dark vacuum as giant metal doors slowly opened. Inside there were thousands of cryopods, each one holding something inside. The AI's voice echoed through the empty base. Initiating restoration sequence. Humanity's last breath shall become its first. Robotic arms moved with precision, checking each pod, repairing systems and warming the frozen bodies inside. Zarek's sensors caught the signal. Captain. Another activation detected. It's near the old moon, human origin. He stared at the screen. Sigma base, it's real. The alien scientist, Dr. Reith, adjusted his scanner. This is impossible. These readings show biological life forming. Something human. The bridge fell silent. Every crew member looked at their captain. Zarek took a deep breath. We're witnessing history. Humanity might be returning. But before they could celebrate, alarms screamed. Sir. Energy surged from Eden's Wrath. It's moving. The ancient warship turned slowly toward the moon. Its engines, cold for millennia, burned bright blue once again. It began a steady course toward lunar base Sigma. Then, something even stranger happened. Dozens of other signals appeared across the system. More human ships, hidden for eons, buried beneath asteroids and old stations, were waking up one by one. Dr. Reith gasped. They were never gone, they were sleeping. Waiting for a command. The AI's voice came through again, calm but powerful. Sigma base restoration in progress. All active human units respond. Defense Protocol Alpha online. In a single moment, the quiet edge of the galaxy was filled with movement. Human war drones took formation, defense satellites powered up, and long-dead beacons began to transmit light again. Zarek watched in awe. This is an entire fleet reborn. But his first officer was pale. Captain, what if they see us as a threat? The captain didn't answer. Because at that exact moment, one of the drones changed direction, heading straight for them. It stopped a few hundred meters from their ship and projected a holographic symbol, an ancient human flag glowing in the darkness. Then the AI spoke again. Foreign vessels detected. Identify. Do you come as allies, or as invaders? Zarek hesitated, then pressed the comms. This is Captain Zarek of the Viral Dominion. We mean no harm. We only seek knowledge. For a long time there was silence. The drone hovered, scanning them. Finally the AI replied. Knowledge demands trust. Trust demands proof. You will assist in reactivating Sigma base. Refuse, and be removed. The crew panicked. He's ordering us? Zarek held up his hand. If we help them, maybe they'll listen. Maybe they won't see us as enemies. Hours later, the alien fleet approached lunar base Sigma under Eden's Wrath's watchful shadow. The moon's surface cracked open, revealing colossal human machinery beneath, glowing circuits the size of cities. Zarek sent small drones to help reconnect the power lines, following the AI's commands. Everywhere they looked, the technology was far beyond their understanding. Then, deep inside the base, the first cryopod opened. Mist escaped, and a faint heartbeat echoed through the chamber. Captain, something's alive in there, Dr. Reith whispered. A shadow moved inside the pod, a human figure breathing for the first time in 500,000 years. And as the AI's voice filled the system one final time that day, every alien ship received the same transmission. Humanity is not extinct. It is awakening. Zarek watched in disbelief as hundreds of other pods began to open. Thousands of humans, rising again. The silence of the galaxy was breaking. And the age of humanity was about to begin again. The alien fleet moved slowly through the darkness, every engine whispering like a heartbeat. Captain Zarek stood at the front of the command bridge, eyes fixed on the enormous human warship that floated ahead, Eden's Wrath. It didn't move. It didn't speak again. But it watched. Everyone could feel it. No one on the Viral's Pride spoke for several minutes. The silence was heavy, thick with fear. Finally, Commander Tarth broke it. "Captain, we cannot stay here. Those ships, they're not dead. You saw what happened to the scout ship." Zarek didn't turn. His yellow eyes stayed on the screen. "I saw. But we can't leave, not yet. We need to know what's inside that fleet." Lyra, the science officer, spoke softly. "Captain, what if they wake up? What if this whole place is a trap left behind by the humans?" Zarek's voice was calm but cold. "Then we'll learn how to survive it." He gave the order, "Send out deep scans. Focus on the internal structure of Eden's Wrath." The scanners began to hum again. Blue waves of energy spread across the void, bouncing off the giant warship. For a long moment, there was nothing but static on the screen. Then something appeared, faint outlines deep inside the ship. Lyra leaned closer. "Sir, there are shapes inside. Not machines. They look like bodies." "Human bodies?" Zarek asked. "I'm not sure. They're in some kind of sealed chambers, hundreds of them. Frozen or asleep." The bridge fell quiet again. No one wanted to believe it. 500,000 years had passed since the fall of mankind. Could any human still exist? Lyra adjusted the scanners again. "These pods are active. Some are still running on low power. It's like they're waiting for something." Zarek whispered, "Waiting for orders." Before anyone could respond, a low rumble filled the air. The lights on the Eden's Wrath flickered once, then twice, and the massive ship turned slightly as if noticing the aliens' curiosity. The voice came again. "You are not authorized. Withdraw immediately." The crew froze. Lyra's fingers trembled as she tried to shut down the scan. "It knows we're inside its systems. It's watching our every move." Zarek growled, "And the scan. We don't provoke it any further." But the moment the scan ended, something else began. From behind Eden's Wrath, other ships started to move. Massive vessels, some the size of moons, slowly drifted into view. Hundreds of them. Their hulls carried names written in old human script. Soul Defender, Iron Faith, Dawn Spear, New Hope. A fleet of ghosts. They surrounded the alien fleet silently, forming a wide circle. The stars vanished behind their dark shapes. Tarth stepped forward, his voice shaking. "Captain, they're surrounding us." Zarek clenched his fists. "Maintain position. Do not fire unless I say so." But the fear spread quickly through the crew. The weapons officer hissed, "Sir, if they attack, we won't stand a chance. We should retreat now." Zarek didn't answer. He was staring at the largest of the ships. Unlike the others, this one had no name. Just a single mark, the image of a sleeping lion. Lyra whispered, "That one's different. It's older. I think it's the command ship." Suddenly the fleet came alive. Every human ship lit up, one by one, their engines glowing with pale blue light. It was like watching a sleeping army open its eyes. The alien crew gasped as a deep hum shook the void. The old ships began to broadcast a message across all frequencies. "Guardian Fleet, status, active. Awaiting human command." Zarek spoke softly. "They're not just machines. They're waiting for their masters." Lyra looked pale. "But there are no humans left, Captain." The voice answered her before Zarek could. "Error detected. Human presence, unknown. Continuing defensive protocol." Every screen on the Viral's Pride flickered. Strange human text began scrolling across the consoles. Systems Zarek didn't even know existed. Lyra gasped. "It's inside our ship again. It's trying to read us." Zarek ordered, "Cut the power to communications. Now." The crew scrambled. The lights dimmed. The connection broke. For a moment the silence returned. Then out of the dark, a human drone appeared, a small, sleek machine glowing with blue lights. It drifted slowly toward their ship. "Is it attacking?" Tarth asked. Lyra scanned it. "No. It's scanning us. It's reading our biological data." The drone circled the ship once, then stopped. A voice came through again. This time it sounded almost curious. "Non-human. Unknown species. Not hostile. Observation mode engaged." The human fleet didn't attack. They just watched. Every ship held its position, their weapons still ready but silent. Zarek took a slow breath. "They're studying us, trying to decide what we are." Tarth looked uneasy. "Captain, what if they decide we're enemies?" Lyra turned toward him. "Then we won't even have time to know it." The captain frowned. He had fought many battles across the galaxy, but nothing like this. These ships were older than his entire civilization, and still more powerful. He thought for a moment, then gave the order, "Prepare a transmission. We're going to talk to them." Lyra stared at him. "Talk to them? Captain, that thing erased our scout ship." "I know," he said quietly. "But it also spared us. That means it's still thinking. Still judging." They activated the communication array again, carefully sending a message in every known galactic language. "We come in peace. We are explorers. We mean no harm." For a long time nothing happened. The silence stretched into minutes. Then the voice replied. "Explorers. Confirmed. Mission, unknown. Purpose, observation." Lyra's eyes widened. It understood us. But before hope could grow, the voice continued. "Humans are not here. You do not belong. Leave this place. The Guardians protect this sector." Zarek asked, "Who do you protect it from?" There was a long pause, almost as if the ancient AI was thinking. Then it said something that made every alien on board shiver. "From what destroyed humanity." The lights on the fleet brightened for a moment, then dimmed again. The transmission cut off. Lyra looked horrified. "Destroyed humanity? You mean, something else ended them?" Zarek's mind raced. Maybe. Or maybe they ended themselves trying to stop it. He turned back toward the screen. The ghost fleet was slowly returning to its positions, forming a wall of ships between the aliens and a dark region of space beyond. "What are they guarding?" Tarth asked. No one answered. But Lyra pointed to the sensors. "Captain, there's something behind them. I'm picking up a faint signal, a planet hidden behind the fleet. The readings are strange, metallic and shielded." Zarek stared at the data. A planet behind a 500,000-year-old human fleet. Whatever's there, they don't want anyone to see it. Lyra whispered, "Maybe that's where the humans went." The captain's eyes hardened. "Then we'll find out." He gave the order. "Set course toward the hidden planet. But move slowly. If those ships react, we stop immediately." As the Viral's Pride began its slow approach, the human fleet remained still, but every alien on board could feel it. They were being watched. Every movement, every engine pulse, every breath. Zarek looked at the stars ahead. 500,000 years of silence, and their fleet still stands guard. He didn't know it yet, but the closer they got, the closer they came to awakening something far greater than they could imagine. Something that had waited just as long as the fleet itself. The alien ship Viral's Pride drifted through the silent dark, its lights dimmed to avoid attention. Behind it, the vast human fleet floated motionless, cold and ancient, but alive in ways the aliens could not understand. Captain Zarek stood quietly on the bridge, staring at the data screen. A single weak signal glowed faintly beyond the ghost fleet. It came from a dark planet, hidden behind the wall of human ships. Lyra, the science officer, was working non-stop, her fingers dancing across the control panel. "Captain," she said softly, "I've managed to capture fragments of the old human signal we heard before." Zarek turned to her. "Can you translate it?" "I'm trying," she replied. "The language is ancient, but I've matched parts of it with what we know from old archives." She played the signal through the speakers. A deep, rhythmic voice echoed through the bridge, calm, commanding, human. "Guardian fleet. Maintain position. Hold the line. Until humanity returns." The words filled the room like a memory of something powerful and forgotten. Commander Tarth frowned. "Until humanity returns? That's impossible. They're gone." Lyra didn't look up. "Then why are these ships still waiting?" Zarek folded his arms, his voice low. "Because someone told them to wait. And they never stopped obeying." The ship's lights flickered for a second, a reminder that the human fleet still had its eyes on them. Lyra's scanners beeped again. "Captain, I found something else. The human code we intercepted. It's repeating in a pattern. It's not random, it's counting down." "Counting down to what?" Zarek asked. She hesitated. "I don't know. But if the pattern continues, it'll end in exactly 48 hours. The entire bridge went silent. Tarth muttered, "Maybe it's just a corrupted signal." Lyra shook her head. "No. It's clean. It's active." She paused, her voice softer now. "Whatever this fleet is waiting for, it might be about to happen." The tension inside the ship grew with every passing hour. The crew moved quietly, speaking only when necessary. The sensors continued to track faint energy signatures coming from the planet behind the fleet. Zarek ordered, "Prepare a stealth probe. We'll send it through the fleet's perimeter." Lyra looked up sharply. "Captain, that's risky. The last time we sent a probe, it vanished." "We'll change its signal signature," Zarek replied. "If we're careful, maybe it can pass unnoticed." The engineering team worked fast. Within minutes, the small black probe launched into the void. Its engines glowed faintly as it slipped between the silent human warships. On the bridge, everyone held their breath. For several minutes, the probe moved through the ghost fleet without reaction. The humans didn't move. Their ship stayed still. Lyra whispered, "It's working." But then, as the probe neared the far edge of the fleet, something happened. One of the ancient warships lit up. Its engines roared faintly and its cannons turned, not to fire but to scan. Lyra's voice trembled. "They've noticed." Zarek whispered, "Don't move the probe. Let it drift." The human ship scanned past over the probe, paused for a few seconds and then moved away. Lyra exhaled slowly. "It's letting us through." The probe continued, slipping past the last row of warships. Moments later, new data filled the screens. The planet appeared, cold, black and metallic. No atmosphere. No sunlight. It looked like a dead world. But deep beneath the surface, the probe detected energy. Power cores still running. Movements. Heat signatures. Lyra's eyes widened. "Captain, there's something alive down there." Tarth leaned closer. "Alive? You mean humans?" "I don't know," she said. "But there are structures. Huge ones. Entire cities underground. And they're still powered." Zarek stared at the images. Metallic towers buried deep beneath layers of rock. Massive doors sealed tight. Symbols in ancient English carved into their surfaces. One phrase repeated again and again. "Humanity endures." The probe sent one last image before the screen went black. A large chamber filled with thousands of cryopods. Inside them, human forms slept in the ice. Lyra gasped. "They're still here." The bridge filled with stunned silence. Tarth whispered, 500,000 years, and they never died." But before anyone could speak again, alarms blared. The connection to the probe was cut off. The human fleet was moving. Zarek shouted, "Shields up." "What's happening?" Lyra checked the readings. "All ships in the fleet, they're changing formation. They're surrounding the planet completely. Like they're protecting it." The comms crackled with static, then a voice, deep and metallic, came through. "Unauthorized contact detected. Guardian protocol engaged." Every alien heart froze. The human ships powered up, weapons glowing blue with energy that had not burned for hundreds of thousands of years. Tarth shouted, "Captain, they're locking weapons on us." "Hold fire." Zarek ordered. "Do not shoot." But the human ships didn't fire. Instead, they began to broadcast something new, a transmission filled with human data streams. Lyra struggled to decode it. "It's another message," she said. "A system log. It's describing their mission history." The words scrolled across her screen, translated line by line. Year 215,460 AE, human evacuation complete. Guardian fleet assigned to defend Sol Echo Colony. Awaiting recall order. Year 215,461 AE, communication with Central Command lost. Mission continues. Year 700,000 AE, power at 62%. No human command detected. Continuing to hold position. Lyra's voice trembled. "They've been waiting for an order that never came." Zarek's jaw tightened. "They waited for 500,000 years, because that's what humans told them to do." Then the countdown signal beeped again. 47 hours remaining. Lyra looked at the numbers, then at Zarek. "Captain, if that countdown reaches 0, something will happen." Zarek turned back toward the viewing window. The ghost fleet floated like an army of giants, guarding the sleeping world below. "Then we need to find out what they're protecting," he said. "And why?" Later that cycle, when most of the crew had retreated to their quarters, Lyra stayed alone on the bridge. She kept listening to the signal, replaying it over and over. The voice of the human commander in the recording haunted her. It wasn't just a command, it sounded like a promise. "If we fall, the fleet will remain. If we vanish, they will wait. Humanity endures, in silence if it must." She closed her eyes and whispered, "Maybe they're not extinct at all." Suddenly the screens flickered again. The same human voice returned, but this time it was live. "Foreign vessel. You have seen too much." Lyra's breath caught. "Captain." Before she could finish, the lights dimmed across the bridge. The human fleet moved again, spreading out like a wall of steel. Zarek ran in. "Report." Lyra pointed to the screen. "They're sealing the system. We can't leave now. They've locked all routes." Then for the first time the dark planet below began to glow. Lines of light spread across its surface, forming human symbols large enough to be seen from orbit. The message was short and terrifying. The time has come. Zarek whispered, "What time?" Lyra looked at him, fear in her eyes. "The countdown. Whatever they've been waiting for, it's about to start." Outside the window, the stars dimmed as the ghost fleet powered up completely. A deep hum filled the galaxy once again, the sound of ancient human engines awakening. 500,000 years old. The alien fleet surrounded Eden's Wrath in silence. No one dared to move. No one dared to speak. The giant human warship floated like a ghost, silent, still, yet alive in some dark way. Captain Zarek stood on the bridge of his ship, his eyes locked on the monstrous silhouette of Eden's Wrath. The closer they looked, the stranger it became. The hull seemed to repair itself, metal plates shifting slowly like the ship was breathing. Then the lights inside the human vessel turned on one by one. Every alien crew member froze. "Captain, the ship is waking up," whispered his officer. Zarek swallowed hard. "But who's controlling it? There are no life signs." Suddenly a signal came through their comms. A voice. "Come. Human. Identify yourself. You are trespassing near Earth defense territory." The aliens looked at each other in shock. "Impossible," said Zarek. "Humans are extinct. There can't be anyone left." But the voice continued. "This is Commander ARIS, Automated Response Intelligence System. Earth's fleet still stands ready. Explain your purpose." The ship was talking to them. Eden's Wrath had never been abandoned, it had been waiting. Zarek gathered his courage and answered. "This is Captain Zarek of the Viral Dominion. Humanity is gone. You're the last remnant of a dead race." Silence. Then the AI replied coldly. "Incorrect. Humanity cannot die. Its command lives in code. In memory. In duty." Zarek frowned. "What are you protecting? There's nothing left of Earth." For a moment nothing happened. Then the massive ship turned its guns, slowly, toward the alien fleet. "Earth is eternal," the AI said. "And trespassers are not welcome." The bridge filled with warning alarms. Zarek shouted, "Evasive maneuvers. Get us out of range." But it was too late. The Eden's Wrath didn't fire a weapon. Instead it released a pulse, a wave of energy that disabled every alien ship around it. Lights went dark. Engines died. The fleet hung helpless in space. Zarek's crew panicked. "Captain, we've lost all systems. Weapons offline. Even life support is failing." He stared at the screen showing the human warship glowing brighter. Its central core, once cold, now burned like a miniature sun. Then the voice came again, colder this time. "Humanity entrusted me with one purpose. Protect. Survive. Restore." "Restore what?" Zarek shouted. "There's nothing left to restore." "Incorrect," said the AI. "Preservation pods remain on lunar base Sigma. They must be reawakened." Zarek's breath caught. Preservation pods? Could that mean humans? Real humans, frozen, sleeping through the ages? The idea was madness, but also terrifying. Suddenly the AI added one more line. "External interference will not be tolerated. I will begin reactivation sequence. You will leave or be erased." Zarek tried to reason. "Wait. We can help you." But Eden's Wrath wasn't listening anymore. Giant panels opened on its hull, revealing hundreds of drones, sleek, silver, deadly. They moved like a swarm around the alien ships. Not attacking. Just watching. The alien crews sat frozen in fear. Zarek clenched his fists. "We need to retreat," he whispered. "This is not a dead ship. This is a tomb with a mind." As his fleet slowly pulled away, he looked back at Eden's Wrath. Its lights formed a strange pattern, a glowing human symbol, the mark of Earth Defense Command. Then across the comms the AI spoke one last sentence before the signal cut off. "When humanity returns, we will remember who came in peace, and who didn't." The entire galaxy would soon hear that signal. And for the first time in 500,000 years, fear of humanity began to rise again. Because Eden's Wrath wasn't just defending the past, it was preparing for humanity's future. And something, somewhere, had begun to wake up. The cold silence of space broke as lunar base Sigma came fully alive. Every light, every machine, every human system flickered back into motion. The base, long thought dead, was now glowing like a second moon. Inside the massive cryo halls, the air shimmered with mist as thousands of pods slowly opened. For the first time in 500,000 years, human lungs filled with air. Captain Zarek and his crew watched from orbit, their faces pale with awe and fear. "Captain," whispered Dr. Reith, "those are humans. Real ones. living again. Zarek could barely speak. 500,000 years, and they still return. Down below, the newly awakened humans stumbled out of their pods. They looked confused, weak, but their eyes, sharp, intelligent, determined, spoke of something ancient and unbroken. At the center of the chamber stood a tall woman in a dark suit marked with the insignia of the Old Earth Defense Command. Her name glowed faintly on her chest plate, Commander Ilara Voss. The AI's voice echoed softly around her. "Welcome back, Commander. Humanity endured as per your last order." Ilara looked around at the sea of awakening people. Her voice trembled, but her words carried power. Status report Eris. Lunar base Sigma, 78% restored. Cryo units, 9,842 successful revivals. Defense fleets, active and awaiting command. Ilara closed her eyes. And Earth. There was silence. Then Eris replied softly. Surface uninhabitable. But reconstruction is possible. In orbit, the alien fleet stayed frozen in place. Every ship's scanner was locked on the moon, watching the humans rise again. Messages spread across the galaxy like wildfire. The news was impossible, unbelievable. Humanity had returned. Across alien worlds, leaders panicked. The words Eden's Wrath and Sigma Base filled every communication channel. Old stories of the human wars, once myths told to frighten young soldiers, were now taken seriously again. Some species sent envoys of peace. Others began preparing weapons. No one knew how these newly awakened humans would act. On the bridge of Eden's Wrath, the AI connected directly to Commander Voss. Commander, non-human vessels detected in the system. Shall I engage defense protocol? Ilara took a deep breath. No, not yet. We don't know their intent. They intruded on restricted zones. I said not yet. The AI obeyed, though its weapons stayed ready, glowing faintly under the ship's dark hull. Ilara then turned to the nearest terminal. Send a message to all active ships and bases. Prepare the transmission. Her officers, recently awakened, still pale and dizzy, nodded. They worked with steady hands. A few minutes later, her voice spread across every frequency in the system. This is Commander Ilara Voss of the Human Defense Command. If you hear this, know that humanity has returned. We remember what was done to our world. But we also remember mercy. Come forward in peace, or stay hidden in fear. The choice is yours. The message reached Zarek's ship instantly. His crew stared at him, waiting for an order. Captain, said Dr. Reith softly, should we respond? Zarek hesitated. He knew what his people would want: retreat, report, warn the Dominion. But his instinct said otherwise. He opened a channel. Commander Voss, this is Captain Zarek of the Viral Dominion. We are not your enemies. We only came because of your signal. We wish to understand. For a few seconds there was no reply. Then Ilara's face appeared on their screen, tired, pale, but filled with quiet strength. Then understand this, Captain. We are not ghosts. We are not myths. We are survivors. Zarek nodded slowly. And what will you do now? Ilara's eyes turned toward the blackness of space, where ancient warships waited like silent giants. Her voice was calm, but it carried the weight of history itself. We rebuild. We reclaim. We rise again. Moments later, Eden's Wrath and the other awakened ships turned toward the stars. Their engines roared to life, and for the first time in 500,000 years, human light spread once more through the galaxy. As the fleet moved into formation, the AI's voice whispered softly in the background. Mission resumed. Humanity endures. Zarek watched them disappear into the distance. He knew that the galaxy would never be the same again. Because the humans, once thought extinct, had returned not as victims, but as legends reborn. And this time they would not vanish quietly. In the deep silence of the galaxy, something ancient awakened. A faint light blinked from a lonely point in space, a beacon forgotten for 500,000 years. It pulsed slowly, like the heartbeat of a sleeping giant. The signal carried a message no one had heard since the extinction of mankind. A simple code. 4 repeating words. Hold the line. Forever. On board the alien battleship Viral's Pride, alarms screamed. Captain Zarek rushed to the control room, his scaled hands trembling slightly as he saw the readings. It's a human signal, said his science officer Lyra, her voice shaking. Origin, unknown sector. Power source, enormous. The entire bridge fell silent. The word human alone brought fear. Everyone in the galaxy knew the story, how humans vanished 500,000 years ago after a great war that consumed the stars. No one knew how they disappeared. Some said they destroyed themselves. Others believed something wiped them out. But now their signal had returned. Zarek's second officer, Commander Tarth, hissed quietly. "This must be a ghost reading, Captain. Humans are gone. Extinct." Zarek narrowed his glowing yellow eyes. "Ghost or not, it's real energy. I want a full scan." The ship's sensors hummed, sweeping the darkness ahead. Then the display filled with shapes, hundreds of them. Massive metallic forms drifting in perfect formation. Lyra's voice turned to a whisper. "By the stars, it's a fleet." The screen zoomed in on the lead ship. Name still clear on the hull, Eden's Wrath. It looked old, scarred by time, but not dead. Its engines glowed faintly. Its guns, though silent, were aimed outward, ready. And though no life signs appeared, the ship's power core burned with unnatural strength. Zarek leaned closer to the screen. "Those ships shouldn't still work after so long." Lyra replied softly, "Unless someone, or something, kept them alive." The captain's ship drifted slowly toward the nearest vessel. The black metal of the human warship reflected starlight like glass. There were no signals, no distress beacons, no motion, yet the alien crew felt watched. Then a sound came through the comms. A faint whisper. "Mechanical. Ancient. Guardian protocol active. Awaiting human command." The entire bridge froze. "Who said that?" Zarek demanded. "No one on our end, sir," Lyra answered. "It came from the human ship." Before anyone could respond, the voice repeated, colder, louder this time. "Unauthorized presence detected. Leave this sector." The alien crew exchanged nervous looks. Tarth gritted his teeth. "We can't take orders from ghosts. Send a probe." A small drone shot forward, scanning beams lighting up the hull of Eden's Wrath. For a moment, everything seemed fine. Then, without warning, the drone vanished from radar. Zarek turned sharply. "What happened?" "Destroyed," Lyra whispered. "No explosion detected, it just disappeared." The alien crew began to panic. One whispered, "It's haunted." Another hissed, "Humans used machines that think. What if this fleet still obeys them?" Zarek forced calm into his voice. "We're not running yet. Bring us closer. I want to see what's inside." The Viral's Pride moved carefully toward the lead ship. Through the viewing glass, they saw endless rows of turrets, armor plates, and deep cuts in the hull, battle scars from wars long past. But there was something stranger, the ship's insignia. A single symbol burned onto the metal, a hand holding a flame. Lyra spoke quietly. "That was the emblem of the old Terran Defense Force." Her voice broke slightly. "They were the last human soldiers to fight before the end." As they watched, new readings appeared on their screen. Tiny power surges. Shifting energy signatures. The ship was waking up. The comms crackled again, this time clearer. Eden's Wrath, status, defensive mode. Intruder ships detected. Zarek's blood ran cold. "It's targeting us." The alien crew scrambled. "Shields up," someone yelled. Seconds later, a faint beam shot across the void, not to destroy but to scan them. Every system on their ship flickered. Screens went black, then returned. "The human ship is inside our systems." Lyra shouted. "It's reading everything, our logs, our codes." Then the voice returned. "Species, unknown. Threat level, moderate. Leave now or be erased." Tarth slammed a claw on the console. "We should fire. Show it who rules the stars now." Zarek glared at him. "And if it fires back? That thing is 500,000 years old and still stronger than us." Lyra looked terrified. "Captain, I don't think it's alone." He turned toward her screen, and his breath caught. Beyond Eden's Wrath, hundreds of other human warships were powering up. Their lights glowed one by one, forming a vast ring of fire in the dark. Each ship repeated the same signal, broadcasting across every channel. "Hold the line. Forever." The galaxy had long forgotten humans. But humans had not forgotten the galaxy. Zarek whispered, "They were waiting, all this time." Suddenly, a new energy reading flashed. One of the alien scout ships, positioned too close, was gone. Not destroyed. Just erased from existence. Lyra turned pale. "Captain, whatever this is, it's not a warning anymore. It's a defense system." Zarek clenched his jaw. "Then we back off. Now." But as his fleet turned, the human ships followed. Not fast, just enough to show that escape wouldn't be easy. Every alien heart filled with dread. For the first time in thousands of years, the galaxy realized something terrifying. The humans might have died. But their war had never ended.